Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we are working on day 12 of our Inktober Tangles for this year. And we have this one called it's OLE-OLE. So I want to pronounce it Ole-Ole, but there's no accent marks, so it might be Ole-Ole. Either way, it's a beautiful tangle by Reyes Galindo, CZT. And there's many different options with this one, so I think we'll turn this one into a flower. All right, if you haven't downloaded your packet yet, you can still get that, and the information's in the description. And a big shout out to Stephanie Jennifer for putting this all together. It's been really fun. All right, for this project, I'm in kind of a red pink mood. So I've got our traditional tools, the white tile, the black pen, number 2 pencil, and a tortillon. But I also have a red micron. I have some colored pencils in pink and magenta types of colors. And then I also have some pastel chalks in pink and scarlet red, just depending on how much color we want to add. And I do have one gold gel pen. All right, let's get started. So I am going to start with the black pen, and I'm just going to dive right in here um, with just a nice little orb, just one kind of in the middle, as close to the middle as you can get without actually measuring. And then I'm going to work my way around step by step. So I'm going to kind of retrace my little orb a little bit, and then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to curl in, and I want it to come back around and touch, and then swirl back in. And then I'm going to do that several more times. Just working my way around for this first step. And I'm going in with more of a kind of a curved line here because I'm picturing a flower. And they don't all have to be the same size. They're all individual, almost like spokes on a wheel at this point. So I ended up with 6 of them. You might have 5, you might have 7. Any number is okay. Just know that the more spokes you have, the more compact, the tighter it's going to get. For our next step, we are going to put in a curve here, and then we're going to do that 2 more times. And again, I'm working my way around. Putting in those nice little curves as we form a flower. So with each curve, it's shorter and shorter, like that. So something cool like that. And now we need to fill in the area behind it. And this is where I deviate a little bit from the step out because I want that flower-like shape. So I'm going to start a little higher here and bring the curve out because I want kind of a nice wide curve for that first one. And then I'm going to come in a little lower and add a couple more. You can add as many as you like, but I keep it kind of simple. And again, for this first one, I've got a nice wide curve here, and then my smaller ones. I could even add another one there. So it's just adding as many as you'd like. Remember to rotate as you go so it's more comfortable for you, and it's also easier to work on your tile that way. And I think we're at our last one already. It goes pretty quickly. I might add another one onto this one too. So we have a lovely flower-like shape there. And I am going to quickly aura around this. Just all the way around. So, and we have a lovely little flower. And what I'd like to do is add a little bit of a border. Usually we put in our dots and lines and do that first, but I'm going to do that now that we have our shapes in here, our flower in here. So I am just using half of the same tangle. I'm going to start a little bit down here, and I'm going to come up to the corner and loop around almost like it's printa. And then I'm going to add these curves. And I'm going to rotate and do the same from this angle. And then add these. So I'm just putting in corner pieces. I am then going to come over from this side. They look a little different, not as curvy, um, but I just think it looks kind of nice that way with the corner. And then come up this way. And rotate around and go. And I'm picturing a line here, trying to keep it consistent. this might want to be a little longer. Straighten that out a little bit. And then we're back to our last corner. I think I'm going to come down here. So a little variation of the actual tangle, but I think it works nicely. Like that. All right. Now I'm going to put the cap on my black pen and I'm going to pick up my red one just because I'm in the pinks and red mood today and I want to really have some red ink on here. And I am going to start with, remember this larger curve that we have in here? I am just going to put in a little string of tipple or little orbs, if you'd like to call them that. I try to go around twice to give them more definition. And then I like to fill in those little spaces that are left behind. So I'm filling that in with red. And if you don't have a red pen, no worries because you can do that with your black pen. I just really wanted the bright contrast today, so I'm using red. And we're going to do that for each one. So it has that really nice kind of a swirl look with that curve, very pretty. But I just want this contrast. So I'm using red. If you want to use a different color, absolutely go right ahead. If you want to substitute something in for these little orbs, again, you can go right ahead and try something different. And we're just working our way around, filling these in. Enjoying the process. This is really where you can let your mind step away from the world and just focus on being in the present, being in the moment. Filling in each little space. So you can see how that's coming along, and it's got a lot of drama to it. So I really enjoy that. And we have just one left to do. All right, so we have that. Looks really cute. I really like it. And I think I'm going to continue the red into our corners here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the red here to the larger and the smallest areas. Just working my way around. This would be a good place to change colors if you would like to have something different for your corners. But I'm just kind of, again, keeping things as simple as I can and just seeing what I can accomplish with that because you don't need to have 100 different colors. You can do a lot with just a few. So we've made it all the way around, and we have our corners filled in. I'm going to put the cap on the red pen, and then I am actually I'm going to take the number two pencil and just add a little bit of shading to these to the areas near the center. Just want to add a little bit of shading. It's not going to show up too much, but just want to kind of put that in now. And then I'm going to use my tortillon and kind of push that out a little bit. So just a tiny bit of shading. Then I'm going to take my pink, I'm just using a pink Crayola pencil, and I'm coming in with a lot of pressure on this first one here, and then medium pressure for the second one, and very light on the third one. So let's do that for each of them. So heavy, medium, and light. Again, heavy, medium, light. If you're not using colored pencil, you would just do that with your number two pencil. You could have heavy shading, medium, and light. Oh, we're all the way around already. And then I'm going to take the magenta and just add a little touch of that to the area where it's kind of where it's heavy. Just want to define that a little better. This way I can kind of control how dark I go with that. If I put the magenta on first, I might not be able to lighten it up enough. So usually I would put the darker color on first, but not this time. Once I have that on, I can see that maybe I want to add a little more pressure to the medium area. Just to bring that out a little more. Okay, and then I'm going to go in and do the same thing on the other side. So I've got heavy pressure. Since I have one, two, three, four, I'm going to do heavy pressure on the second one too. And then a medium and a light. I'm going to add a little bit of the magenta again to this one, the one right next to the tipple. Could even add just a little bit here if you've got that fourth area, which I have on a couple of them. And I think this is our last one here. There we go. Adding a touch to the second area because it's kind of the outside. There, so we've got that all filled in like that. That looks very, very pretty. Um, it's kind of hard to see the pink on the screen, but I do have like a very pale pink here in these areas. All right, we have that all settled in. Now, one thing I don't have with me, I do have a white jelly roll. Sometimes they can be really fussy too. If you have a paint pen, those work really well too, but you could add a little bit of white to these. We'll see if this gel pen holds out. You could add a little bit of a shine. Um, I just don't have my paint pens handy, so. But a white jelly roll should be able to handle it. Also, a correction pen. So if you have a correction pen, those work well too. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a chalk pencil, and I think I'm going to use the lighter pink instead of the scarlet red. So I'm just going to go around. If you don't have a chalk pencil, you can use your number two pencil. And I'm just kind of filling in the area outside of our flower. Making sure I got every area like that. And then I think I'll also add just a little bit of color in these swirls instead of using the graphite pencil. You can easily use graphite. And we have these in here as well. Made it all the way around. All right, so I'm gonna put the chalk pencils away. I'm gonna grab let me see if I have a tortillon, a new one. Okay, so I have this tiny new tortillon. When I use my chalk pastels, often I'll use like a cotton swab or a Q-tip. You can also use your finger. If you do that, make sure to wash your hands afterwards. But I do have this a new very tiny little tortillon, and I'm going to use that to blend out the chalk pencil very lightly so it looks a little smoother. I actually like the way it looks now, but I do think it's a good idea to blend it out. If you blend it out and you see that you lost most of the color, you can always add more, just like you can with graphite. So same principle, just a little bit of a different tool we're using. And I do really like these chalk pencils. They come in different colors and they're very, very handy for projects. I'm gonna blend these out. Some of you might want to leave those white, and that's awesome too, because I like that contrast. But sometimes I say I go ahead and do these things so you can decide if you want to do them. You can just watch and decide. All right, I think that is our finished project. Like I said, if you want a little more of the chalk pencil, the pastel chalk, or the graphite, you can go ahead and add that. I am now going to add my initials because I'm going to call this done. And I really like this. I think it's very pretty. Um, very, very pretty and very fun to do as well. Let's see, where should I put my initials? Just trying to figure it out. Hmm, it's a little, this is my biggest challenge for the day, where to put my initials. I think I'm going to tuck it in right here, like that. All right. So super cute, super fun. Um, Mine, yes, might look a little bit different from other people's, but that's the fun of it, the experimenting, the creativity. And I love this little flower that we made from this tangle. Plus, we got a really cool border as well, or corners, whatever you'd like to call them. All right, I'm going to flip this over and I am going to put my name, and it's the 12th. This is our 2025 Inktober Tangles, and it's date 12. And like I said, there's no accent with this. It's O-L-E dash capital O-L-E. I want to pronounce it Ole-Ole, but it might be Ole-Ole. So let me know how you pronounce it. And that's by Reyes Galindo. CZT. Thank you, Reyes. I really love this one. Um, Really fun to do. I really love it. Um, Pretty easy too, and you get something that looks really organic and engaging, and I would call it in this form floral. All right, so let me know what you do. If you don't like the red and the pink, you can swap it out for other colors or keep it simple. Just use your pencil for shading and your ink for putting in the details there. Have fun with it, play around with it. I'll be back soon for day 13. Yeah, this was really fun. Thank you for tangling along with me, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day, and I love you guys. Bye.